With the introduction of Helix Stadium, we're beginning the next chapter in Line 6's long lineage of multi-effects processors. When Helix Floor was announced 10 years ago, we didn't know we'd end up with a platform at all, much less that we'd be sustaining and improving it for 10 plus years. Helix Stadium's all-new modular platform has been specifically architected to be extensible and updatable for a long, long time. Helix Stadium improves upon current Helix's hardware specs with our patented high dynamic range circuits on all analog inputs, not just one guitar in, resulting in 126 dB of dynamic range on the instrument inputs, over 120 dB on all effects returns in the aux in, and 128 dB on the mic input. We've redesigned the headphone output so it sounds fantastic across a much wider variety of headphones, and the whole thing has noticeably more headroom. This means even your existing Helix and HX presets could sound even better with no tweaking. Helix Stadium and Helix Stadium XL are actually quite similar on the ins and outs. Stadium XL adds one extra instrument input, 2 effects loops, and 1 dual control jack, but they both have mic pre's, SPDIF, USB-C and USB-A ports, Nexus, a built-in removable 32 gig micro SD card, and a burly internal power supply. We also have more DSP, a dedicated GPU, a machine learning accelerator, FPGAs, and it's all running on a brand new from the ground up 64-bit floating point architecture. Our powerful new platform isn't just for more stuff. It was mission critical to help us deliver the single biggest leap Line 6 has made in its near 30-year history of modeling amps. We call it Agoura. But Agoura isn't HX on steroids. It's an entirely new subcomponent behavioral modeling methodology. There's all new tube emulation where we actually measure detailed parameters of the actual tubes used in these amps, voltages, currents, capacitance, and more. We've invented a new way of modeling power stages, both push-pull and single-ended in conjunction with the power supply, so we can sample accurately capture the interaction between the signal and power supply. Agoura also models circuit feedback more accurately than has been possible before. Even things like capacitance between runs of wiring within the chassis are accounted for. There's also detailed plate and grid voltage data, all new sag bias ripple behavior emulation, double precision tone stacks, inter-block communication so cab blocks can communicate back to the amp block for dynamic speaker impedance curves, and a lot more. You name it, if it makes the smallest impact to responsiveness, not even necessarily an audible difference, we still captured it. We're starting out with 16 Agoura guitar amps and 6 Agoura bass amps, and we'll continue to add more through future updates. The trick is that real amps aren't perfect. They include imperfections and artifacts that may not be pleasing to the ear. If you've ever cranked a plexi in the room without earplugs, it's wild. All Agoura amps have a hype knob. Depending on the amp and amp settings, increasing hype can subtly or dramatically adjust various behind-the-scenes parameters to make that amp sound smoother, fuller, punchier, tighter, and or more forgiving, but at the expense of accuracy. So if you're really familiar with a particular amp in the real world, you may hate hype, so leave it off. But if not, you may find that turning it up a bit might get you the sound in your head faster with fewer additional processing blocks. Tangential to Agoura, early next year, we're introducing our own bespoke amp cab, effect, and signal chain cloning engine we call Proxy. We understand that open source solutions are doing amazing things in this space, and jury's still out on whether Helix Stadium goes there or not, but Proxy is unique in that its core architecture capabilities are designed to expand beyond amp and effect capture, things that may not even be audio related. It also sends training data directly to the cloud, which means you can train better models due to the power of cloud server processing. And while the servers are crunching numbers, you can keep making music. As soon as the clone appears in the list, Helix Stadium lets you know. It also lets us improve upon the technology independent of not only what firmware you're on, but what hardware you own. Because of the many hundreds of thousands of users familiar with Helix, we knew we didn't have to completely reinvent the wheel. You'll notice we've doubled down on real tactile hardware controls. Helix Stadium adds 2 extra push encoders and 5 extra dedicated shortcut buttons. Many functions can be accomplished by both physical control and the 8-inch touchscreen, however you choose to work. And just like Helix, touch a stop switch to instantly jump to its assigned block, parameter, or command center message. We also kept nearly all the same shortcuts, so muscle memory shouldn't fail you. But if you don't know the shortcuts, they now appear in various sidebars all the way down to the individual parameter. If you're a new user, either to multi-effects or guitar gear in general, you can read what every amp, cab, or effect parameter does simply by tapping it. Sure, not everyone needs to read what gain does on an amp, we all know that, but even experts might need a refresher on what operation or boomerang do in our crazy tessellator delay. No need to dig through a special parameter guide because we built one right in. The search function in the model list makes it really easy to find what you want. You can type in an amp or pedal company name, and the model list will call up all models based on products from that brand, even across different categories. Focus View is an entirely new user interface which gives a much more detailed engagement experience at the model level. Most amps and effects feature 5 touch zones with descriptive terms like clean, dirty, tight, squishy, whatever. Just slide your finger around the field until the amp or effect sounds close to the way you like, then if necessary, fine-tune with the knobs. So if you're a new user or have never played that particular amp before, Focus View can act as a showcase for the variety of sounds and behaviors that amp can provide, as well as be a great springboard for dialing in exactly what you want. It even teaches you how that sound was made because the parameter sliders adjust in real time. For power users, however, you can customize each zone's settings and name, kind of treating them like 5 subtle or radically different variations of that amp or effect you can then morph between. We've also provided new contextual tools at the preset level. All factory presets contain tips on how to best use them, like instrument, pickup configuration, tuning, the playback system used, creative controller assignments, what the snapshots do. Every factory preset also includes a unique dry guitar clip that plays through the preset so you can actually hear it in context. For power users, you can record your own clips to help dial in presets without having to constantly switch between playing and tweaking. Our brand new file system lets you create thousands of favorites or load thousands of IRs and freely organize them into nested folders. If you place all of your favorite amps and effects at the top level of the favorites browser, you can access them all instantly without opening the model list at all. All new presets you make can start from a special list of templates, and you can make your own templates so you won't have to make presets from scratch. And if you're a current Helix or HX user, you don't have to recreate them at all because you'll be able to import them. There are a couple small caveats, like we've deprecated our older hybrid cabs, but for the most part, you should be up and running very quickly. We've added a flexible matrix Q mixer so you can have a completely different monitor mix for the 1/4-inch outputs, the XLR outputs, and the phone's output. You can link 2 or all matrix mixers together, and each one gets its own global EQ whether they're linked or not. Each layer gets individual level, pan, mute, and solo over each of the 4 stereo paths, USB in 1 and 2, Bluetooth audio, aux in, the metronome, and all 8 stereo audio tracks, which drives the new Showcase automation engine. The command center's still here and is dedicated to manual control of all your external gear. If you want to hit a switch and change your favorite external stomp box's preset, keyboard's patch, amp channel, software keystroke, or MIDI to DMX lighting cue, great. Helix Stadium makes this even easier with 2 commands per stomp, each set to press, release, hold, or toggle. With our new Showcase engine, Helix Stadium is set to control your entire stage automatically. On a multi-effect, what's the perfect number of foot switches? We believe there's an objectively correct answer to this question. In a perfect world, you win the lottery, right? And then you hire your weird neighbor Al, who was a roadie in the 90s, and he brings his buddies over, and they set up and run your entire rig for you. And you don't have to do a thing, you just play and have fun. Showcase is our brand new live automation system. It's like having a guitar tech, bass tech, keyboard tech, playback tech, and lighting/video tech at your beck and call. If you just want to jam along with your favorite 20 or 50 or 500 songs, load them into Helix Stadium and use transport foot switch mode to navigate them. But if you save the song, it recalls that preset in Snapshot, so now when you play, you don't even have to select the right preset, it just shows up and all your time-based effects sync to the song. And if that's all you care about, great. The next step might be when you're loading in tracks, you ask the Helix Stadium app to split the song into separate stems so you can mute the guitar or turn it down 12 dB or whatever, So instead of playing on top of your favorite songs, you're now mixed into your favorite songs. And saving the song saves your mix, so the next time you want to just play, there's almost nothing to do. But songs aren't static. Showcase lets you easily drag flags onto the song's timeline where you want that event to take place. So now your song can recall presets or snapshots, control all of your looper functions, switch your real amps channels, and remote control all of your MIDI-equipped pedals, synths, lighting, software, video, and much more without a single foot switch press. Showcase allows the technology to just sort of melt away so you can focus on what matters, your performance, your bandmates, and the audience. Nexus is Line 6's all-new modular, networkable, multi-channel I/O and control protocol. It's fairly open-ended and lets us expand the ins and outs and control capabilities of Helix Stadium. Although Helix Stadium no longer has VDI and L6 link jacks built in, we couldn't abandon our loyal Variax and PowerCab Plus users, so the first Nexus accessory we're announcing is Expand D10. Expand D10 adds Variax, L6 link, and AES EBU ports to Helix Stadium, and via optical cable, you can even run 8 channels to audio interfaces to expand the input count of your studio. We haven't even gotten into the built-in multi-client Wi-Fi, wireless editing, wireless updating, Bluetooth, the OLED scribble strips, the new strobe tuner, side chaining compressors and gates. There's a lot more information soon to come, so please be patient with us. It'll be worth the wait.